Hi, today I'm going to be doing some meal prep. I'm going to be doing really easy and healthy meals, a fall kind of chicken crockpot recipe, some really good burritos, and some chia pudding. I'm Amy. I'm a wife and a mom of two young girls. I like to make kind of easy and healthy meals for my family, and today I'm going to be cooking for you all. And don't forget to subscribe for more videos. I do post every single week. Let's get started. I'm starting off with a slow cooker apple barbecue chicken. I thought this recipe sounded perfect for this season, and so I just put in about 1.5 pounds of chicken breasts and then some barbecue sauce. Next, I put in some apple butter, which was not in the recipe, but I thought it would just be a really good complement to the rest of this. I added water just so that the chicken was completely submerged in liquid, and then I added some apple cider vinegar, apple pie spice, and a bit of salt. I covered it and I cooked it on low for about 6 hours. Next, I'm making chia seed pudding, which is a really easy snack or breakfast that you can add whatever toppings you'd like to it. This is 14 tablespoons of chia seeds. I do want this to last all week for myself and my husband, so I am making a lot, but you definitely don't have to make this much if you don't want. 1 can of light coconut milk, 1¼ cups of almond milk. This is vanilla almond milk, unsweetened. A little bit of salt, a little bit of vanilla. I'm just going to stir it up to make sure there aren't any clumps of chia seeds. Now I'm adding 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. If you want a bit more sweetness, you can add more maple syrup or sugar or anything like that. Next, I'm going to add some lemon zest and lemon juice. I would use 1 or 2 lemons depending on how much you're making and how lemony you want it. And that's it. I'm going to store it in the fridge for a couple of hours and give it a stir again, and then I'll just store it. It takes maybe 3 or 4 hours to completely solidify, and then it's ready to eat. Now I'm making some really delicious veggie burritos. It had homemade refried beans, grilled veggies. It was super tasty. The first thing I'm doing is making the refried beans. So adding beans to my food processor. I'm using black beans and pinto beans just because I like the variety, but you can just choose, one kind of bean if you prefer. I'm also adding 2 cans of diced green chilies. I am using a very small food processor, so I did have to do this in 2 batches. I had to kind of put some in, then I blended it up, then I took it out, put more in, blended it up. But obviously if you have a bigger food processor or blender, it would be, just one easy blend up. Next, I added some fresh cilantro, and then I added the remainder of the ingredients, which is I added sour cream, cumin, paprika, salt, pepper, and lime juice. I actually left out the jalapeno just because I wanted my toddler to eat it, but you can definitely add that in if you prefer. I want to add that I don't really like refried beans, but these were amazing. They were tasty, they were really nice texture, they had like the perfect flavor. It was really delicious. I would make this again, definitely. So I will say that if you don't think you like refried beans, definitely try this recipe. It is really delicious. So I blended it up and this is how it looked. Now I'm just going to go ahead and cook it. Actually, before I cook the beans, let's transition back to the chicken in the crock pot. It's been about 5.5 hours. I'm going to take the lid off of the crock pot and I'm just going to shred my meat right in here. You can tell it's like just falling off, just falling apart. I'm gonna add some cornstarch just to thicken up that sauce a little bit. And I turned off the heat just now, but I am gonna cover it up again just so it'll kind of thicken up on its own with the heat that's already in there. This smells so delicious. It smells sweet and tangy, barbecue-y. See that? Okay, now let's move back to the marinade. The first thing that goes in the marinade for the veggies is a half a cup of oil. Next, I'm adding in some lime juice. I used the juice of an entire lime. The recipe calls for 2 tablespoons. I'm doing some honey, some salt, some pepper, some chili powder, some garlic powder. Mine looks kind of brown because I bought roasted garlic. That's all I could find. Oregano, some cumin, some paprika. This seems like a ton of ingredients for a marinade, but keep in mind I am doubling the recipe, and also you could just throw in some taco seasoning and like olive oil and lime juice, and I think it would work really well. Now I'm going to go ahead and chop up all of these veggies. Just remember that I'm doubling the recipe, so there's a lot more than you'd use if you were just using one recipe. So what I did was I cut up all the veggies, I rubbed the marinade on all of it and on both sides, and then I got them ready and I grilled them. You definitely don't have to grill the veggies. You can just saute them or even just roast them. I just finished the beans, so here they are. I just stirred them kind of every few minutes just to make sure they didn't stick to the bottom. I'm out at the grill, so I have my veggies that I'm just going to pick up and just kind of put all around the grill. I just put them all on the grill, and now I'm just going to cook them for probably about 8 minutes, and then I'll flip them over and cook them on that side. Okay, so I'm back out just to flip everything over. Cook these for another 8 minutes. And I'll take them off. Once the veggies cooled enough so I could handle them, I just went ahead and sliced all of them up. The Crockpot chicken is completely ready, so I thought I would show you that before I go ahead and put it in a container to save for later in the week. And the beans I'm also going to put in a different container. They are also completely ready. Moving back to the burritos, the veggies on the cutting board are the ones I'm going to use for dinner tonight. And I'm also going to use this basmati rice. So now I'm going to go ahead and assemble the burritos, and I'll just layer all of the ingredients that I'm going to put on it, starting with the beans. Then I layered on the other ingredients, which were cheese, the rice, those veggies that I grilled, arugula, and then throughout the week I sometimes changed it up and I added like sour cream. Then I rolled it up and I grilled it on the grill since the grill was still hot. The rest of the week we just sauteed it on like a pan. We actually preferred it that way, but you know, however you'd like it. These were super tasty, really filling, and just a great thing to have throughout the week. And I will say this recipe was super easy, but it did take some time since I just had so many veggies that I was cooking, but it was still really easy and definitely worth my time. The final thing I did for meal prep was I put some coconut, it's unsweetened coconut, on top of the chia pudding. And here is everything that I prepared. I thought I would show you how I had these different recipes throughout the week. This is the chia pudding. I added some toppings to it. This is the crockpot chicken. I just toasted up some buns and I made coleslaw and roasted some cauliflower. And then I also had this crockpot chicken on quesadillas, and I just put Parmesan cheese on some tortillas. I grilled them up on just a pan, and that was really tasty as well. All of these recipes were really delicious. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed all of these recipes, and don't forget to come back next week for a new video. If you're in WW, check the description, and I'll include links to the recipe builders so you can see how many points each recipe is for you.